Hello, everyone. As always, I'm very glad you're here. And I'm just going to start with this. We've kind of talked about it already, but if 2025 drained you, kicked your ass, or made you feel like you were holding it together with duct tape and caffeine, you're not the only one. January shows up and suddenly everyone's out here acting like they're ready to take over the world. Meanwhile, half of us are still trying to remember what day it is and why our nervous systems are still fried. So let's cut the noise. This isn't another reset. This isn't New Year, New You. We're not here for fluffy resolutions and vision boards that fall apart by January or piss you off every time you walk by it. This is about coming back to who you actually are without the stress, the pressure, and all the circumstances you've been dragging behind you for the last year or maybe even the last 5 years. And if you're tired of that, tired of pretending this next resolution is finally going to fix it, this is the place to finally stop pretending. Today is about real change, not hype or force or willpower, just space to feel like yourself again. And if that hits something in you, just hang with us. We'll tell you how to keep going after today if you want more. But first, I want to bring in someone who's helped so many people remember who they are underneath all the stuff life piles on. So please welcome Liz.
Hey everybody, and definitely a big welcome. If you're here, you got the message, and there's something about whether or not 2025 left a stain on you that resonated. And, I just want to offer this that we feel you. It's not just it's not that you didn't work hard enough or you're not spiritual enough or you didn't do all the things. It's that the energy on the planet right now is actually tough. So from my heart to yours, you're not alone. This period of time really has dimmed our lights. And what I want to say about all of you who are here, because so many of your names I recognize, I know you, and you're amazing humans. Absolutely the most amazing humans that I've ever known, willing to take a look at yourself and make changes and work hard at it. And so I know that you're a type of people who don't just lay down and let it happen, that you really tried this year and still it left a mark. So I just want to acknowledge that and acknowledge that you're here and that we're so happy that you're here. Bill is on the call tonight, but he's driving. So we're going to make him stay safe. He might drop in just for a minute to say hi here and there. But just to let you know, he's here with you. He can see us. He can see the chat and all of that as well. So, all right, let's dig in. Would you put in the chat? I know that some of you put in the chat if 2025 left a mark on you. But would you also put in the chat if you feel like your inner light is dimmed a bit, if there's that sense of the fire, the flame, the brightness, the real you is just muted. Notice if you're feeling muted. And would you also write in the chat, what does it feel like to feel muted? So tonight we're not going to spend a ton of time on that. We are going to spend a little bit in a really fun way, but just want to acknowledge it because I do not want to wipe, a spiritual smear or a self-help schmear over your pain. I want to acknowledge it. And I want to focus tonight on bringing that light back because it's there, just slightly dimmed for a lot of us. I think 2025 left a lot of people just sort of heartbroken. I mean, I know in our family, like Leah said, we've lost 7 beings in the past 5 years, 2 just this year. They happen to be fur babies, but still, I mean, it was heartbreaking. So just want to, put that out there and acknowledge that for you. But notice how it feels. Notice where that is in your body as a sensation, because that's what it is. It's a sensation that gives your mind the idea about what it means. Just kind of put that in your back pocket for a minute. All right, tonight, we're also, if you have your handy dandy Cogno ball, we're going to use that. Otherwise, you could, maybe Leah may have said that, but you can use an object or a pen. I'd like to have a little bit of a glass of water with you and something to write on. All right, so let's talk about just a few things quickly about why the last bit has been very intense. So there is a global intensity. There are just our sun is going crazy. I mean, it is acting badly. It is throwing so much energy at us. That just means more. So more of whatever we're feeling, we're going to feel it to a greater extent. And the whole planet is feeling, and we're kind of vibrating against each other in this sort of agitated way. Notice it, type in the chat if you've noticed that, this agitation that seems to just exist. And if you think about like extra electricity, just extra, like real intense, it has that feeling to it. And interacting with people sort of feels like that. So there really is a global intensity. So I want to really acknowledge that. You're not making it up, it's real. But the good news is that it also means that when we can get to our higher points, when we can bring that light back, that will be intensified also. Put that in your back pocket. When you're feeling more of who you really are, that is also intensified. Another thing is uncertainty. There's a lot of uncertainty right now, and there's nothing more destabilizing than a feeling of uncertainty. And with our governments, there's uncertainty. With our weather, there feels uncertainty. Leah, have you seen this in our town? And put this in the chat if you've noticed this. Talk about uncertainty and weird. In our town, it is cold and raining. We have irises blooming, red hot pokers blooming, and California poppies blooming. None of those bloom here until at least May, sometimes June, and they're blooming now. Why? I mean, uncertain. It's just weird. And that weirdness really does affect us. It makes us a little unstable. Maybe that's the feeling you've had, a little unstable. Just kind of like notice it. Notice what it is for you. And a lot of that is creating like a personal heaviness. People talk about a weight, carrying a weight around. So put it in the chat. What does it feel like to you? Hey, Leah.
Hi. You called my name, so I'm here.
Oh, I was just asking if you had noticed the weird plants in our area that are blooming, the irises and the hot pokers and the...
Yeah, and actually, just this year at my house, I had uh plants, especially like during the end of summer, like and this winter. I've had plants that are growing that have I've lived here for 3 years, have never grown here. And just one. So I had one columbine, one flower grow and nothing else like around it. No more blooms, just one columbine. I had one lily of the valley, which I had never actually seen before in person. One lily of the valley grow right by my door. In the 3 years I've lived here, that never happened. And I just had one and it didn't come back. And then, or I guess we'll see if it comes back. And then I have one, uh, snapdragon. Is that what that is called?
Mhm.
Snapdragon that is still blooming and it has new leaves that are blooming. Just one in one spot that has never been there for the 3 years. So I mean, like the weather and the weirdness for the plants is definitely happening right now.
Yeah, I think the point of this, you guys, is that it's happening to the plants and the animals too.
Yeah.
Like this planet is feeling it and feeling unstable and feeling weird and feeling changes. So, would you be willing in the moment just to acknowledge that we as a planet, we're going through some shit, right? We're having some growing pains. I mean, time, this period has been prophesied for so long, and every kind of text you want to imagine about things changing, about institutionally changing. There's upgrades to our own physical body that are happening. It's a whole nother subject. But I just want to put it out there and acknowledge that yes, everything, every cell on the planet is feeling this. But it doesn't mean there's not something that we can do about it. It's about switching the meaning of it and about turning the light back on and letting that light be the thing that is magnified. So what are we going to magnify? Okay,
I
go ahead.
I just wanted to add another reason I came back on is because the people in the chat are saying, yes, muted is a few people used muted, suppressed, stifled.
Yeah.
Like it's really hard to get inspired or restarted this year. It feels like dullness. So those are all
Mhm.
kind of in the same family.
Yeah, yeah, true. That it kind of, I mean, those are great words, suppressed, you know. Um, Leah, I'm not sure if Bill can open his mic if he wants to chat. He probably doesn't yet, but he might at some point. So I was going to make sure he has the option. Okay, so some of the things, and I'll go through really briefly that 2025 people said specifically things like burnout, grief, collective exhaustion. Is that one for you? So many people describe that, this collective exhaustion, fear, confusion, instability, comets. We had a comet that we really thought might be aliens, could still be. But there was a lot around, even what a weird year. We had two or three of them actually. The economy, people had issues with. So in this year, there was all of these kinds of things. We had, do you remember we had drones? Remember the drones that were creating fear and panic and confusion, weird confusion. So we do really have reasons for why we are feeling this way. And it's all those things. So let me ask you this though. I could probably list 49 things that were just freaking weird and hard in 2025 that created that confusion and pain. But what were the highlights for you? Because I know there were some, because I know a lot of you out there, and I know myself and I know Leah. Type one thing that was a highlight this year. I'm going to challenge you because for a lot of you, it's going to be hard to even remember it. And not to go deeply into it, but we know the reason for this. Our limbic system, really, it's designed for this. It's looking for danger. It couldn't care less about the great stuff because it doesn't have to protect you against it. So remembering the highlight for the year is going to be like, no, nothing good happened, but it did. For some of you, there were some wonderful things. And for some of you that I know the bad things, but I also know that there were some pretty sweet moments because you told me about them. What were they? For us, for our selves, Leah and myself and Bill, we had the most beautiful Cogno conscious this year. Beautiful on so many levels, so incredible. And the changes were amazing. And there were so many things that happened that we didn't expect around that time. I mean, then that was just one. But what were the highlights for you? See, challenge yourself and see if you can find one. And then be aware of how hard it is to find them and how the yuck takes precedent. Notice it. How did the yuck take precedent? And notice if you're having a little internal battle. Like, I don't want to admit that anything great happened this year because I've got that big wipe across my sweatshirt, that stain, the oil slick it caused. Like, notice the fight within yourself to not want to put in that chat something positive that happened because it feels like in the terms of the scale, the yuck was heavier. And if I admit to the good, I might just have to jump in there and feel that good a little bit. Just notice it. Notice the struggle. I like to call it like a tension that it creates. It's interesting.
I
So,
would just like to point out that a couple of people in the chat are saying some of the best things this year that they became Cogno Movement practitioners.
yes. And you know what? That's some of the best things for us. I mean, total side note, but the Cogno Movement family is one of those things that Bill and Leah and I can highlight as the best things that happen. They're like jewels, these people that become part of our family. So don't get me started. All right. So in January, like Leah said, we go through all of this dog crap. You know, it's like you keep smelling poop on your shoe for through all the way through till December. And then in January, we're literally supposed to jump in and be like, woo, look what I can do. It's all great. New me, like I'm all shiny again. And yet, like Leah said, it's still the crap on us, it still feels dry and crusty. I know that's so graphic, but it's true, right? So you jump into 2026, into January, we're only 7 days in, but for some, and for many that we've been hearing from, it's like, I I don't have the momentum to become new me all shiny. I have not wiped off what's left from 2025, and finding that joy and energy and even interest then feels like another failure. And I want to say to you, I think this is a psyop. I know my conspiracy brain kicks into gear, but to me, it's a psyop. It's one of those things that's a psychological operation that is saying to us, you need to be something different than you are. Ignore how you feel, ignore what's happened to you, and just wipe on a shiny face. Come buy some more stuff so that, you can, have a new diet or some new supplements or whatever, and start over without actually addressing what happened, right? So if you think this whole New Year's resolution thing is a psyop, put that in the chat. Tell me if you agree with me. But
Don't
the
get
truth,
me started.
and don't get me started. But the truth is, I saw this thing, and we said it in some of the ads for this, but that January is actually the Monday of the year. And Mondays, how many people on Monday have like called in sick? Like you want to stay in bed and snuggle in, not face the world, and just call in sick on Monday. And so in January, we're like, wait, I want to call in sick for this year. I'm out. For that reason, I quit. Right? So there's this tension again between the desire to get moving, get started, make something change, make something different this year, and what actually happened and what actually you're feeling. So notice that for me, please. Notice this tension created in the body around that. So what do we do about it? What do? We notice that it's not just mental and it's not just emotional, that it's in our bodies, right? That we've been stuck in survival mode. Let yourself acknowledge that. I've been stuck in survival mode, maybe not just this year, but like for the last 5 years or more. And just notice that there is a sensation that goes with it. And it's a heaviness that feels like it's body and soul for some of us. It's physical, but it feels like there's more than that to it. So just sort of notice. And this is just a form of fight or flight. It really is just that. And if we start to know that, we know that we can change that. If it's just fight or flight, mechanics of the body, we can create change around that with Cogno movement for sure. And notice how when I asked you what was the great thing that happened this year, what it was the biggest highlight, notice it for you that felt like sort of a luxury or a speck on the stream of time and not a priority. So my question here is, did the joy that happened in 2025, and there was some, did it feel like a luxury to you or did it feel like a priority? This is interesting because our nervous system does not focus on joy. It doesn't focus on the good stuff. It focuses on the negative. So when we start to try, we ask to put the attention on it. It's like, well, yeah, but there's this bad stuff over here. So just notice for you, bringing awareness. Bill and I were actually talking about this yesterday, that when you put an awareness, when you give your attention to your discomfort directly, not trying to push it away, not trying to outrun it, it begins to change. It begins to transform because the body will start to see it for what it really is. So notice this feeling of not really wanting to address the good stuff and whether or not it really is a luxury, not an integral part of your everyday life. And if you're anything like me, you'll be like, well, why isn't it? Why isn't it, Leah? Why isn't joy an integral part of our everyday life? Do you ever wonder that? Why is it that the crappy stuff seems like it's the most important thing?
Um, well, yeah, I think it's because the happy stuff we don't have to fight against, you know?
Yeah.
It's kind of like you've said before that, we're always trying to say like, I just want world peace, I just want world peace. But if we really, really had world peace, not that war and all of this crazy stuff is good at all, but if we really had fully everybody was peaceful, we would be bored out of our minds. That is why we have reality TV. That is why now we have YouTube and debate,
Yeah.
like everybody's debating. Like we need we need a purpose. And sometimes, oh my gosh, there are giant illegal fireworks going off right now. Sometimes people really like the joyful thing is the neutral thing. The negative thing is something we have to work on, we have to fight against. It gives us a purpose sometimes, we think.
Does.
And even though it's almost like it's more comfortable, and even though it's really uncomfortable, all these things that we want to change, all these things we don't like are more comfortable, but they're not. So we stick with the more comfortable thing, even though the joyful thing actually is better.
It's true. It definitely gets our attention. And that is a really good point. We do love our drama, or we would not have, these would not exist. We love the doom scroll, right? And it does feel like doing something. So for you guys, I want you to think about this. How much time during the day does your body spend focused on the next big problem? The current problem that is going to lead into the next problem. Like type in how many hours do you think your attention and your physical attention, you're feeling that is on the next big issue, the next problem in your life. And notice if maybe your nervous system feels like you're really doing something. If I've got my eye on that problem, I am going to be able to protect myself from it, right? Have you ever heard where energy goes? Wait, where attention goes, energy flows. Where attention goes, energy flows. So think about what I just asked you. How many hours a day? And I'm just asking you. I mean, I'm talking to ourselves here. How much time does the body spend looking at that problem? So where attention goes, energy flows, and it's flowing to the problem, right? To the problem, which means that problem is likely to expand. That sucks, but it's true. So, what do we do to shift this? Let's move into the next gear. The solution to this is to let your body start to get conditioned to feeling joyful. Can you even imagine? Like, can you imagine? Tell me if you can in the chat. What if your body felt joyful 4 hours a day? And I know that some of you just had a negative reaction in your body. I want you to notice it, write it down, notice it. What if your body felt hopeful, interested, attracted, joyful for 4 hours a day? Just 4 out of 24. Did it just create some panic for some of you? Would it feel boring? So if the answer is yes, and if it created some panic, it could be just that your system's like, wait. I'm doing something when I'm focused on that negative feeling. But the only thing that we're really doing, and now talking to a logical mind, is focused on a problem, but making it bigger, expanding it. So could we, and would you be willing to allow your system to focus on something that lights you up? Something that lights you up. And if you were going to choose it with your logical mind, how many hours a day would you spend on that? Right? So I'll tell you a quick story. I told it in our practitioner training yesterday. I saw this video with Bashar, and you guys may know him, you may not, but he's a channel. And somebody asked him about what they should do for their career, and he said, "Do what brings you joy, brings what lights you up, brings start focus on what you're passionate about." And they said, "Yeah, but that doesn't make any money." And he goes, "Really?" And then he starts to tell a story about a woman who absolutely adored, and you know that yummy feeling in your body. This is where we're going, you guys, that yummy feeling in your body. She got that yummy feeling of reading her children's stories, telling them stories. And so what did she do? Of course, she wrote children's books. And with that passion, you know, it became a global phenomenon. And then he said, and then look at the channel. So he's talking about himself, and that he Daryl Anka just followed the passion that doing this channeling brought him, and he's created something that supports him and his family. So he was challenging the idea that if you focus on what you're passionate about, that you could create a career out of it. So let's frame it differently. You could create a life out of it. Would you be willing to create a life of being passionate, joyful, attracted? It's an interesting question, right? Okay, so I asked myself this question. Well, we have to do the work ourselves, me and Leah, Bill. What lights me up? Okay, and we're going to head into this part because we're going to head into session. It's going to be about this, but we want to find it first. So, what is the thing that when you're daydreaming, if somebody took a picture of you, you probably have a goofy grin on your face, right? You would probably look like, the little sly smile, and your body would feel light and you would feel lit from the inside. So I caught myself yesterday because I've been looking for this, and I saw a video about the Aeolian Islands, which I love. They're just so beautiful. I love being there. I love everything about it. I love and I caught myself with a stupid grin on my face. And then I noticed what my body felt like. And for me, it's here. It feels like waves of energy just moving. And it's soft and it's comfortable, very comfy. So notice yourself. What is it that would light you up? Just to think about, just to daydream for a minute. If you're willing to just set the crap from 2025 aside just for a minute and notice what lights you up. And, it's one of those things that is hard to do. Just want to acknowledge because we are kind of told to dim our light, like not be too much. I think, Leah, this is something you can weigh in on, like that I think people who, when we're kids and we're told in school not to daydream, like to be something that makes money rather than to be something that makes you more of who you are. Wouldn't you say that's kind of an issue, especially like in school?
Oh yeah, if you think about all of it, you're in school and your head is down most of the time. And then you get out of school and you look at your phone and your head is down most of the time. If you're in trouble or embarrassed, your head is down at school. Like there's really not a lot of looking up and ideas and inspiration in school.
Yeah.
It's not a fun, positive thing for a lot of people because they don't have the opportunity for it to be. Their eyes are always down.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. And I think from the time we're a kid, we're not taught to be who we really are and what really lights us up and to tell the truth about it. One of our practitioners, Cassandra, was talking about this. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with myself. When we walked through, like, what lights her up, what just lights her up for her own reasons, for nobody else's reasons. If you let go of what people say you should do and who you should be, what's left? What is the secret passion that gives you that dumb grin on your face and makes your body feel light? So notice it if you're thinking about it now. Does it feel like champagne on the inside? Or does it have that feeling of like you've had the shower, the power wash internally? You feel fresh even on the inside when you think about that thing. And it may be the tiniest, tiniest thing. Like for me, that video of the Aeolians, right? just lights me up. What is it for you that makes you have a feeling of light on the inside?
And just to clarify, this is not what you think you should be grateful for, what you
Mm,
think should make
no.
you happy, none of that stuff. It's literally it's not a forced feeling.
Yeah, I mean, if the sight of a diamond makes you have that goofy little grin, then it's diamond. It doesn't matter what it is, there's no judgment. That's the biggest thing on our joy is we try to attach judgment to it. Should I be joyful about this? Should I like this? Should I want it? Ignoring the fact that it simply lights up your soul, your being, that it feels good. It's really positive energy. So this is a clue. Whatever it is that just lit your face up and gave you that silly grin, this is a clue to who you really are and possibly who you came to this planet to be. It's not necessarily about doing, it's about being. So just start to notice it. This is not about becoming someone else at all. And for 2026, if this is the thing that we could consider, it's not about becoming someone else and who you think you should be. It's this key, what lights you up, and how do you follow that light? How do you let that feeling in your body of just interest, entertainment, like you're entertaining yourself with your own feeling of joy and light and passion? That's it. That's the light that we follow to bring ourselves, who you really are, the whole you, into 2026. And that is the thing that is going to wipe the crap off for this year and all the years following. So let's dig into our session. Would anyone like to do a session? Give me a yes if you want to, and we'll dig into a session. So to start off, I'm gonna ask you to write down, if you haven't already, a time when you felt really lit up. I don't mean productive. I don't mean like doing something. I mean fully present, playful, and joyful. Even if it was a moment, just write it down if you can remember it, and just for about 3 seconds, I want you to notice a little bit of the narrative, the feeling, and the thing, and just write one word for that so you can come back to it. So before we get there, here's what we're going to do. We are going to do a 7-minute session on telling 2025 off just for fun. Now, here's what I want you to do. I want you to really dig in. I want you to use all the swear words. And we're going to tell 2025, F you, you're done. I'm done with all of whatever happened. I'm going to give it a power wash. And I want you to say things out loud. Like, this sucked. I didn't like it. And I didn't like you. And I'm done with you. And I'm moving on, whatever it is. But again, I want you to have fun. I want you to feel it. I want you to feel the passion of your gross 2025. And just for 7 minutes, let her rip. Okay. I'm going to guide you through. And then we're going to move on to bringing in the light. You ready? If you do not have a ball, grab a pen or some object to keep your attention on. If you have your handy dandy Cogno ball, we're going to start down low. We're going to do a good old fashioned left, right, low to high. And I want you to say it out loud. Ready? Hold on. Let me set my timer so I can keep myself on track. All right, ready, go. 2025. Man, you sucked. Feel it. Dig in. Let it out. Tell it off. Say all the things. And breathe. Let this one be a workout. Bring the passion up. Left and right, eyes on the ball. Both hands on the ball or the item. Keep your head relatively still. Let those eyes move. Breathe. 2025, man, you did this to me and you did that to me and you suck. And F you. Have fun with this, you guys. Feel it and let yourself have the fun of telling this thing right off. Keep moving up the body, left and right. Breathe into it, saying all the things. Say it, let it out. Let it out. End up over your head like this and slow down. Good. I'm going to have you put that ball in your right hand and just bring it right down the right side, but keep your head straight and forward and let your eyes stretch. Beautiful. All the way around to your left hand. Let the eyes stretch. Good. And now let it drop right in your lap again. Let your eyes close for just a second. Shake it off. Move your spine. Roll your spine. Pull your shoulders up. Ready? We're going to go again. 2025, you suck. Ready? Go. You suck. Maybe you didn't deserve the crap that happened in 2020. Let it out and let it be fun. Let it be fun to just tell it off. Feel it and breathe. Woo. All the things. All the suck. Go for it. Moving up the body, eyes on the ball. You can see I'm moving relatively quickly. Really moving some energy here. I don't know about you, but this is making me hot. All the way up over the head. Okay, one more time. Bring that ball down the right side and let the eyes stretch. Really stretch and consider the ball in your left hand. Great job. Let the ball drop and let your head drop and your eyes rest for just a minute. But breathe big, deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth, and see if you can bring on that shower on the inside feeling. Yeah. Give yourself a hoo, a hoo. Gonna tell 2025 off one more time. All right. Put the ball aside and we're gonna run our ears. So if you've never done this before, it's a pinch and wiggle from the top to the bottom and every little square millimeter of your ear all the way down. Now, if it's available, you're going to cross your arms like this. If it's not, up here is fine. Ready? Start at the top. Big deep breath. We're going to go backwards through 2025 and really tell it off. Go through all the things. And this sucked, and that sucked, and this was unfair, and that was unfair. Keep going and have fun with it. Dig deep. Let yourself tell it off. Keep moving down, down, down the ears. Really rub. If you're anything like me, this is also going to bring some heat. Bring the heat. Good. And when you get to the bottom, let the ears go. Shake them off. And then bring it back and see if you can cross the other direction. So if one arm was under, bring it over. We're going to start at the bottom. Ready? 2025 sucked from the bottom to the top. And we're going to go from January 2025 all the way through to January 2026. Ready? Go. Just moving through it, telling it off. This sucked. That sucked. Yeah. Keep going. Pinch and wiggle those ears. We're moving energy through the spine. That heat is literally energy moving through your spine. Keep going, telling it off, all the way up to the top. When you get to the top, I'm going to have you pull your ears forward and take a big deep breath in and let it out. Good job. Just kind of notice your state, wiggle around, notice what it feels like to tell off a whole year and to acknowledge that there were some sucky parts. Good. Just let yourself feel it. Let yourself notice. Notice if it feels good. All right, let's roll forward all the way down And tuck your chin as tight as you can and bend forward. And when you get your head down, I'm going to have you roll your eyes up in your head like this, but keep your chin down. Big deep breath. Roll your eyes and relax your body. And what you'll notice is your eyes kind of roll up in your head a little easier. Tuck the chin, roll forward, big deep breath. Roll the eyes and relax the body. Good. Many of you may have just noticed your whole spine get longer. Let's do it one more time. Tuck your chin, roll your eyes like you're looking at the top of your own head. Big deep breath. Roll your eyes, tuck the chin, relax the body. Good job. And then just let yourself roll back, fall back over the chair, all the way back, and just stretch. Breathe and notice if you're starting to feel that shower on the inside, power wash on the inside feeling. Good. And if anything came to mind, if something came up that you had forgotten about in the ear, and you want to take a note of, just write it down real quick. And now I'm going to ask you to physically put 2025 where it belongs in the past. So wherever the past is for you, I'm going to have you take your hand and just place 2025 in your past. For some, it might be to your left. For some, it might be to your right. For some, it might be forward. Some, it might be back. But I want you to physically put it in your past. Keep in mind that the nervous system is the great time traveler, and it's always trying to go back and pull things out of our past to put in our present to make you worry about, or to put into your future. So we want to delineate, this really is the past, and this really is the future. So I want you to notice, where is your past and where is your future if you were gesturing to it, because we're going to use that later. All right, ready for the next session? This session I call Beam Me Up, Scotty, Beam Me Up session. Your daydream on crack. So let's bring back that thing, even if it's momentary, even if it's impossible, whatever it is that brings that weird little grin to your face. The one that makes you feel like a bit of champagne in the body. Would you be willing to just let it be here now? Breathe it in, like you could breathe in that sensation and let it start to fill your body. Breathe. Letting that weird little grin, that funny little sensation, that thing that feels like a flame. It might be a flicker now, but see if you can bring it up just a little bigger. As you know, breath actually does create electricity in our body, and breath, if you breathe on a flame, it does make it bigger. So let's do two things. We're going to put our attention on it, which where attention goes, energy flows, and give it some breath so we make it bigger. Focus on that thing that when it's just you in your own mind, feel joyful about, feel happy, feel inspired. It may be your secret little love, your secret little passion, or maybe the thing that everybody knows you love, but let it be there now. Breathe into it. Let it get a little bigger. Let it start to fill the body just a little bit more. And then I'm going to ask you to grab your pen or your ball. And we're going to do a large figure 8. And you can use just one hand to do it, all the way left, and it come all the way down to your chest and all the way up over your head. And all I want you to do is put your full attention on that funny little glow, on that thing that lights you up. Now, your nervous system may want to pull you back into fear and dread, and that's okay. Just let it be there for the moment and come back to, we're letting your whole system, your whole field, take a look at this little joyful flame. Now, to you, this may feel like revelation. It may feel a bit like universal love. It may feel a bit like being on the edge of a giggle. Joy is love plus fun. Breathe into it and let it expand. We're just wandering around in this feeling. Keep going. And let your mind go wherever it wants to go in relationship to this sensation. Just be gently aware of the images. And breathe. Lots of air, lots of breath. And let's bring the ball back just for a second. And I want you to let it touch whatever your part of your body that little flame seems to be the epicenter of it. Lots of us, it's going to be here, but it could be anywhere in your body. That feeling of, yeah, right? Let your eyes close for just a second. And just notice that feeling. I want you to be physically touching it. If you don't have a ball, you can touch it with your hand. The sensation, the epicenter. Awareness. Awareness brings these things to the attention of our system. Good. Makes the pattern deeper, gets out of the ditch and onto the curb. Ready? We're going to go again. That big figure 8. We're working right hemisphere, left hemisphere, ideas and inspiration, kinesthetic body. Like it all have this experience of joy. Reverence. It may be reverence that gets you there. For some people, there's a feeling of honor that wells up in their body. For some of us, it feels a bit like peace. For others, there's a sense of bliss, just blissed out. Let it be there just for now. Just for now, this feeling. Notice if you have that funny little grin on your face. You're doing great. Just keep going, coming back to that sensation. The thing that feels like literal light inside your being. Breathe and let it get bigger. Let that flame get bigger, that light. Let it radiate even outside your body if it wants to. Keep going. And again, bring the ball or your hand back to the epicenter of that sensation. And this time, let your eyes go there. Don't close them. We did last time, but this time, keep them open. And breathe into that epicenter of that flame sensation. And as you do, notice that as your body becomes aware of this sensation, it's familiar. It's familiar. For some of you, this was your natural state when you were little. For some of you, it's your natural state when you dream. For some of you, it's a natural state when you exercise. Notice where in your life this is a natural feeling for you. Familiar and even more familiar even than that negative yuck feeling. Just breathe into it and be aware. Now I'm going to have you bring that item or ball up over your head. And we're just going to go left and right. And the prompt here is, in this feeling that I'm experiencing in my body, this funny little passion or light or champagne or honor or joy or reverence, what else is possible? And breathe, that shower on the inside feeling. Breathe. What else is possible in this feeling for me? Breathe into it. Good, just 30 more seconds. What else? And what else? In this feeling, if I felt this way more, what else would be possible? All right, bring your ball down or your item and take a note. What did you notice about spending 7 minutes in that sensation? Notice if there was some discomfort in it, or notice if it really did feel like, ooh, I think this is me. I think this is who I really am, and I just forgot a little bit.
Did you mean to do 7 minutes in heaven?
I didn't. That's good though. That's good. That's a good 7 minutes in heaven. Unlike some of us, I never played that game in the closet. I don't know. Bill probably did though. All right. So we don't normally go this long in session. We're going to go just a little over tonight. I hope you're okay with that. But we're going to do just a few more minutes of session because this is important. And then Leah will tell you a little bit more about the upcoming class that starts on Friday, and we'll have a little Q&A. So what we're going to do for the last 7 minutes of this session, and again, it's longer than normal because it's important. Let me start my timer. So remember I asked you to kind of like put the 2025 into the past and notice where, if you were going to reach for it, your future might be. So there's no right or wrong for this. It's really timeline, and all of us kind of have a proprioception around timeline. Like where's my forward and where's my past? So if you don't have one, I want you to just make it up. And I'm going to ask you to reach into your future side. Just reach to the future. For me, it's on my right side. And for many of you, it might be in the same area where your eyes went to actually locate this sensation, this funny little feeling in your body. We call it the love direction. All of us have one, but notice where that future exists. And I just kind of want you to unfold your hand in that direction. Put your eyes there and kind of reach into that future, 2026 and beyond. And notice that feeling of flame in the body, that passion, that light, that reverence, the joy, the honor, whatever it is that gives you that funny little grin. And just reach into that future. And if you would, imagine that the beginning of that future is in the palm of your hand. And when you reach for it, you're likely going to sense some warmth or some cold or something that feels a bit like energy, because it's probably where that timeline begins and exists. But I'm going to have you put your eyes there. And we're at January 7, 2026. And I want you to feel that sensation of joy and reverence, fun, love, whatever it is that lights you up, that gives you the smile, puts the glint in your eye and the weird little smile on your face. And I also want you to fill that hand with it. And breathe into it. Breathe. Now, many of you are starting to probably feel some more energy in that hand. It lit up because you're filling it with that sensation. Just notice it, let it be there. And we're going to begin to move down the timeline from January 7, 2026 to January 7, 2027. But as we move through the months, you're going to move through the months with this sensation. It's just for fun. Just go with me. Ready? Move all the way through January, down the timeline in this feeling. Just notice in this feeling what's possible. Breathe and move into February and this sensation, what's possible? What happens? If you need to hold up your arm, go for it. Breathe and fly into March in this sensation, this funny little feeling. Breathe and move into April. What would be possible in April if you had this feeling? Move into May. Now keep your eyes in it, keep your hand in it, keep your hand filled with that sensation, May. In this sensation in May, spring in the Northern Hemisphere, what else is possible? In this feeling, if I felt like this in May, man, good, move into June. Breathe. Move into June. If I felt like this, if this feeling filled June, what would my June be like? Breathe again. July. Fly into July. If July felt like this. August. Breathe into August. August felt like this. Good. Move into September, feeling it in your hand still. Breathe into it. If I filled September with this feeling, notice if you can see it, 360 degrees. We're moving fast, but notice what you see. Breathe into October. If I filled October with this feeling, move into, comes after October, November. Move into October. If you moved into October, holiday season, and this feeling, what would it be like? December, slow down. What would it feel like if I went into December feeling like this? And then 7 days into January. Now I'm going to have you pull that hand back in and slowly pull it back in. You're going to tug that little timeline back slowly, coax it into that part of your body that is lit up. That sensation, the epicenter of this feeling, this neural pattern. It's a neural pattern, you guys. It's not imaginary. It's how your body does this thing. Pull it in and notice when the hand reaches that part of your body that's lit up, if things light up one more time. Breathe into it. Give yourself a little hug around it. And I'm going to have you close your eyes, let yourself kind of hug into yourself and roll your spine. Tuck your chin and breathe up. Let your spine roll back. Breathe in again. Roll forward. We're just moving energy in the spine. If you notice, we have gone between moving energy in the brain and nervous system to moving it down the spine. Good. And then just give yourself a nice big stretch, shake it off. Woo! Do a little shimmy. And just notice how this feels. What does this feel like on you? Do you feel a little bit more like yourself? I know I do. This is who you really are, not the crap of 2025. Those are just experiences. This light in your body, this is available to you whenever you need it, whenever you want it. And if it were, it's just a question asking for a friend, it's Leah, she's nosy. If you were able to carry this feeling with you 4 hours a day, 5 hours a day, just in the morning, just at night, what would your life become? It's a big question and a little tiny question at the same time. If you could live in this sensation more, what would your life become? And where would your life take you? If your energy goes if your attention goes where your energy flows, if you were in that energy, where would it take you? All right. So that is a sample of what we're going to be doing for the next 4 weeks. We are going to light the way into 2026, clear out the crap, get that caked mud off, which we've already started the process, and really create a spotlight for ourselves in a sensation that actually is who we are. So I will finish there. I know Leah wants to tell you just the details of that class, and then we'll open it up for just a little bit of a Q&A.
All right. Did I unmute myself? All right. So we kind of figured out talking about this that most years and experiencing it with these sessions that most years don't fall apart because you didn't want it bad enough. They fall apart because your body gets pulled back into old stuff that feels familiar, even if it sucks. We are not doing that this year. So the 4-week class that's coming up, it starts on Friday and it's built to keep this light going. So there's no pressure, there's no hype of like New Year's resolutions and vision boards, like I said at the beginning. Just one step every week to stay connected to joy, to energy, and to you. So you don't have to have a plan. You don't need a breakthrough. You just need to say, I want to feel more like myself again. And I'm ready for that to actually stick this time. So if you're feeling it, and if you experienced even anything in these sessions, because remember, this is just a small piece of Cogno movement, grab your spot. I'm already put the link in the chat. I'm going to put it in there again. And if you use the coupon code Cogno Hour, you get a big discount. So I put the link in the chat, and the coupon code is Cogno Hour. It's one word, and you can just copy and paste it right there. You'll learn a little bit more about the event. And so now what we're going to do is do a little bit of Q&A. We're a little bit over, so we'll just do a few minutes of Q&A. But we would really love to do this with you. This work is amazing, and you can already tell from the just little Cogno buzz, as Steve put it, from this session. So join us for the best year yet Cogno movement event. And let's open it up. If anybody has questions, just put it in the chat, and we'll just do a few minutes of questions and go from there.
Yeah. Do we have one already, Lee, or no?
We don't have any questions yet. A lot of
Okay.
people said this was magical. Some people said my ears and top of my head felt like they were on fire. They cooled
Yeah.
off a bit with the figure eights. Somebody else said my ears and cheeks also got very hot. Like Steve said, Cogno buzz. I really like that. You're getting a
I do
Cogno
too.
buzz.
I do.
And Bev said, every time I give someone a Cogno movement session, I feel amazing.
Yeah, and I just want to say, like, you can tell my cheeks are red too. Like, we're really moving energy in our body. And that old stuff, the old yuck stuff is just a sensation as well. But because it's such a powerful sensation and our bodies are so wired to recognize that sensation and make sure it's real, that we notice it so much more. However, and there's a reason for that. It's so that it keeps us safe and alive. I mean, we really need to run when the lion comes, right? We don't want to think about it. So we're built that way for a reason. But, in this age of 2025 and or 2026 and, in the age of enlightenment, we can override that when we don't need it. And most of the time we don't need it. Most of us are really pretty safe. And we can switch into a neural pattern, a feeling state that feels like this. We can live there more because we know how to get the system to do it. We're just overriding the system, just like you do on your computer, a system override to be in a state that actually creates very powerful, positive things. We don't attract things. The law of attraction is kind of a lie. I mean, the idea is not a lie, but that we attract things, we don't. We generate them. And this feeling generates more than you could ever imagine. So if we could stay there, and if we can get our logical mind to understand that it is a healthier, more positive, and safer state, then that becomes our new normal. So that's really the goal for this year is how can we have that become more of our new normal so that what we are generating with this powerful signal becomes what we actually choose, not just what we're afraid of. So,
Um,
go ahead.
So a bunch of people are saying thank you. We did, somebody asked if there was going to be a replay. So I don't know if you're talking about Cogno Hour or the event. So yes, there will be a replay of this Cogno Hour for the event, for the Best Year Yet event that's starting on Friday. If you can't make it every Friday, you're going to get a replay of each class. So you will definitely be able to do those either live or watch the recording.
And Leah, this goes into their dashboard, right? So they can
Yep,
watch it again and again if they want. It's theirs
yep,
to keep, correct? Yeah,
yes.
which is a really cool thing. And one of the great things about our classes is that they're broken up into segments of sessions. So you could go back and use any session that's in one of the classes for something else if you want. It's a session that you're guided in, and you could actually put anything you wanted into that session. So it becomes usually there's 3 or 4 mini sessions within a class. So you would end up with 12 sessions that you could go back and use again and again for anything. For our practitioners, this is particularly valuable because Bill and I come up with new things all the time, and we'll throw them into these classes because they're fresh for us and because, we're excited about them and they move energy. But they may not be things that we actually teach for quite some time. So anyway, it's really valuable in that way. And I don't think I've ever told anybody that before, that it gives you 12 sessions that you really could interchange for anything that you like. So
Yeah.
good thing.
Um, and I wanted to say, do you remember the movie Monsters Inc.,
Yeah.
where
Yeah. Yeah.
the screams were giving them electricity, and then in the end they realized that actually laughter gave them like a massive more amount of energy, and so they started befriending people instead of scaring
Yeah,
them.
making them giggle. Well, you know that they have to tell us the truth in movies. I mean, it's disclosure, really. Conspiracy brain, can you tell? But that was such a big aha, that they're really telling us that they were scaring people to get energy to power the Monsters Inc. universe, and then realize that laughter created more energy, and it's a cleaner energy. And your nervous system can get acclimated to that energy and away from the energy of fear and pain and suffering as a fuel. I mean, we really do think those things fuel us, but this joyful feeling, this light that is the true you, that is a greater energy. It really is. It's more powerful, it burns cleaner, less pollution. I mean, negative energy creates a lot of pollution. The brain pollution, right? Soul
Yes,
pollution.
yes, it's true.
Okay. All right. So if we don't have any questions at the moment, we'll say good night for now. We really hope to see you on Friday. We believe that this is going to launch us very, very powerfully and clean energy into the next decade, really. We need a better decade. Let's create it together. All right, you guys, say good night. Good night, Bill McKenna. I know we didn't get to talk to you tonight, but hope you have a safe drive home. Thank you, Leah. And thank you all for being here. You light me up. You're my great joy. We'll see you all soon.